Welcome back, everybody, to another live stream repair. We've got 5 more HomePods to get fixed up, and it will probably take us a while. We are home alone with Chell today, so we might have to bounce back and forth between repairs and the baby, but we'll get through it. Anyways, the first 2 came from Huang. We've had quite a few from them here, and these 2 are not going to be as easy as we normally see. I believe one of them has a constant ticking sound, which might be an issue with the bass speaker and some DC offset. They have another one that does not reset, so that one I'm not too sure about. Ones with no bass or ticking and strange sounds, those we can usually take care of. Okay, so actually we've got no power and clicking. So let's take a look at this one first. This one with no power. Yep, nothing showing up there. About 4 watts of power draw, so that looks like a pretty standard no power repair. What about this one? This one I'm a little more interested in. I'm going to go ahead and mark no power on these, so that way they know which one's which.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, check the home app.
Alright, so that is a complete lack of bass. So I think we know what we've got going on here. Let's go ahead and take this apart and see what we can do. Like I was saying, we've probably got bad filters on the amplifier, which over time will cook the subwoofer speaker as unwanted DC voltage makes its way through everything. almost forgot. Yeah, I can see it already. You see how there's like a more of a texture towards the center of the subwoofer speaker? That is a clear sign that the voice coil for that subwoofer overheated from most likely too much DC voltage. Like we were talking about earlier with our filters going bad. So we'll get this subwoofer replaced. I mean, we don't even have to take it out to tell. Yeah, that feels like crap. I don't even want to try to smell it. But we'll give this a new subwoofer, and then of course we'll replace the filters on there so that the replacement subwoofer doesn't just blow up on us anytime soon from the same problem. Unlike the common no power issue where it's just a single bad batch of diodes floating around failing for no reason and causing no power, where it's just that one diode we have to worry about, and it's not like something else causing the diode to fail. We can't just replace the subwoofer, because it will just, the replacement woofer will have the same fate. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, more showed up. We got all, I think in total the past 2 days we had like 11 show up, and we managed to get all those taken care of, and then 5 more show up today. I cannot complain. I mean, to a degree I could. Apple should be taking care of this for people. But blah blah blah, you've heard it from me a million times now, so. This one's gonna have a really stinky subwoofer, I can already see it. Ooh, that is straight cancer right there. And I mean that in the most, this will give you cancer literal sense. Look at that voice coil in there. That should be nice and copper colored, not burned, crispy black. Wow. And of course, sounds like trash. So that unfortunately needs to be replaced. Not the end of the world. I still have a handful of subwoofers left over. But we are chewing through them. And the price of broken HomePods for parts is just ridiculous. So you can see in there, that's what the voice coil should look like. Have a nice copper color to it. And it should make any sounds. There you go. We'll go ahead and put it back together with this. But not before we take care of why that subwoofer got blown up. Do your hands get sore? Good question. Generally no, and thanks to this. Before we got this, it only took a couple of HomePods for our hands to get pretty sore. But this knocks out all of the screws that require any real amount of force behind them. Sometimes the amplifier screws can be a real pain in the ass. And like one good single tough set of amp screws can wear me out. And granted, there's 14 screws holding the amp down, so if they're all glued down, then that's not a fun time. It adds up. And I don't use the electric screwdriver for the amp screws because a few reasons. It's too big to reach a lot of those screws. I can't for the life of me get this to magnetize, no matter what bit I stick in here. And it is a little clumsy trying to, like, this isn't super precision. So it's a higher risk of bumping it into something or breaking something off the board. And these screws are pretty short, so the trade-off, the time saved and effort saved trade-off diminishes, or the difference between the electric and this one diminishes quickly when the shorter the screw. Okay. So we don't need to bother checking to see how much offset it's got right now, because we know it's too much. It blew up a bass speaker. So we're going to jump right in, get these caps replaced. I tried not just a really strong magnet, but I even tried like a specific magnetizer tool. And nothing seems to work. I'm gonna have to find some magnets, stronger magnets that are small enough to stick inside of there to make it, just make it stronger. But on the other hand, pretty much all of the screws that I use that electric screwdriver for, I leave the screws in whatever it is that I'm taking apart, so it would actually lose me time having to deal with the tip of that being magnetized. So I actually kind of like the way that everything is right now. The electric screwdriver that's not magnetized, because most of the screws that I use that for are long, tough, and they stay where I unscrew them. And then I've got the precision manual magnetized screwdriver to fish out the amplifier screws. There's probably better tools and better ways to do it, but that's what I've got, and that's how I do it, and it works. Beautiful. I love this stuff. Make sure those are nice and quality. Yeah. As that Southridge guy would say. Better than factory. You ever have one of the HomePods you fixed come back with the same problem? Let me think. Technically, yes. I had a batch of about 6 or so where the replacement filters that I had ordered had somehow gotten mixed up. And instead of the 16 microfarad 16 microfarad capacitors that I use for the normal filters, 6 people's HomePods ended up with 0.1 microfarad filters. So for a few days, even a few weeks, even a few months, they tested fine and they worked fine for the customers. But then I had one person reach out to me, and they were like, "Hey, this HomePod's got the same death farts problem again." And I was like, "Okay, here's a label. Send it back. I'll take a look. You know, don't worry about it, of course. Sorry about the inconvenience." And I got it back, and I figured maybe I just got bad filters. So I took them off and I measured them, and they were all 0.1 microfarad. And I was like, what the heck? And I looked at, and thankfully this was during a slower part of the season. So I looked over at my parts, and sure enough, I pulled a few out, and they were all testing 0.1 microfarad. And I was like, what the hell? So I was able to track back and find most of the people that I had used the wrong filters for, and got them sent back and fixed up again. There were a few that had already reached out to me in the amount of time it took me to figure this all out too. So we got everybody fixed up and that taken care of. Aside from that, I can proudly say that we haven't had anybody send anything back for the same problem again. There have been a few where we've fixed them for no power, checked their filters, and they all tested fine, and then maybe a few months or about a year-ish later down the road, they've got death farts. Their filters do eventually go bad sooner than later. And depending on the timing, we may or may not cover shipping for that if they can pay for repairs, or we usually try to work things out. So this one sounds great. It's still got its good bass. Our offset is well below 50 millivolts. So this one's fixed up and good to go. We'll get this put back together with a good subwoofer. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the great questions. Okay, so this one was not the best, not the worst. It needed new filters, but unfortunately it needed a new subwoofer speaker as well. But nothing we can't fix. So let's close this back up with this good subwoofer speaker, and with all of their parts, sans things that we've replaced. We'll see if it's nice and happy. I'm also curious to see how many of these we can fix before she wakes up. Yeah, she usually sleeps for about an hour to 2 hours during the day at a time for her naps. So that would probably be 2 to 4. We're 23 minutes into this one, pretty slow. Not sure. How's everybody else's day going? It's Friday. My chest still hurts. My rib is still bruised. It apparently takes like at least 4 to 6 weeks for that to heal. Sneezing is very painful. I hate it. I never knew how much was around your ribs. I kind of always just dumbly thought that like your ribs was just kind of like rib cage with like rib bones, and that was kind of it. And like if you bruised a rib, you like hurt your rib bone. No, there's like rib cartilage and like muscle and all that, and when you bruise a rib, usually you are literally bruise that rib cartilage or that muscle surrounding it, and it hurts so bad that I can feel it like going around my chest, like through me and then into my back, and it's like superficial pain in my back, but it's still like Awful. Sorry to whine about it. Just thought I never bruised a rib before, and I never really looked into it. These are the screws for the subwoofer. They've got these rubber grommets on them that help give the subwoofer a nice insulating layer. Keep it from rattling things around. It sits on this foam gasket here. And with this screwed down, it will be completely sealed up. So it doesn't matter if we like put the rest of the parts on or not. This is now sealed. So that's why it doesn't matter if we glue this basket back on or not, because it doesn't matter. It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything useful to any of us, at least. My screws. Alright, so this HomePod had lost all of its bass when we checked it before. Let's see if it works now.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
Alright. So, this one looks, sounds, and feels great. And ready to go. We've got our bass back. Let's take a look at our one with no power now. We already peeked at this at the beginning of the stream, but we'll check it again. Nothing there. 4 watts at the wall. So let's tweak that text up there so people know what we're fixing. And get started. Probably based on what we've seen, just like all these other ones with no power, is another one of those dead diodes. It's been so hot that these things have been an absolute pain to remove because it just gets this sticky. It's just so sticky. Subwoofer smells nice and fresh. No concerns there. Yeah, these are the sticky screws I'm talking about here. Sometimes they've just got like whatever it is going on where it takes like 3 to 4 times longer for me to take each screw out than it normally does. Because normally we can just twist the screwdriver and it'll spin freely enough to loosen the screw up all the way, but these ones, and then you gotta sit here and crank them. There we go. It's funny, they don't even have a whole lot of thread locker on them. So, (1746K) or 1748K? Which one? 8K, there we go. Let's go ahead and, actually, they specifically requested that we replace the filters too, so we're going to go ahead and do those first, and then we'll replace the power diode. And then we'll see if it turns on. we go. What are the functions of those filters? For sound or power? Those filters are for the sound. They're supposed to remove DC voltage from the sound signal as it goes through the amp and into the subwoofer. Huang specifically requested that we replace them as part of their no power repair, which is typically just this diode here. Okay. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. Let's test this out. So how we check for DC offset, which is simply just a measure of how far away from 0 volts DC that you are. So positive 500 millivolts and negative 500 millivolts are both equally a bad result. They're both going to do the same damage. We want to be as close to 0 millivolts as possible. In the HomePods case, we need less than 50 millivolts to be warm and fuzzy. How we check for that is we've got our test woofer on the side here that we plug into their amplifier. And that has some test leads going to a multimeter that's plugged into my PC with the readout on the screen in the bottom right here in red. And when I stab the subwoofer, you can see that number fluctuate. So that's connected to the subwoofer. Uh-oh. Let me plug this in and go see what she needs. Okay, not sure how long she's gonna last, but we've got an excellent offset. We've got good power. So let's put this back together. She's asleep. I went in there and her eyes were closed. sucked up that pacifier. Alright. Fresh filters and a diode. Let's see if the power's on. There we go.
I'm having trouble connect. I'm having trouble.
Beautiful. Okay. Here's our next HomePod. Let me find who it was from. I believe 8663. Yep. Okay, so we've got John here. John's HomePod. You guessed it, won't power on. I'll shoot them a quick email letting them know that it's up. Here we go. So, the usual symptoms for a HomePod with a dead diode on the amplifier. Let's crack it open and find out. Hello, Reese. Welcome to the chat. This one just seems to have a bad diode, but we'll see if it's got bad filters too in a sec here. Another diode with 1748K for a date code. Who's surprised? Here we go. That looks like power to me. Nice, nice, nice. Got a great offset on this one, so we can put it back together. What are the symptoms of a bad diode? Just no power? Yep, that's exactly it. It just doesn't power on at all. It pulls somewhere between 3 to 8 watts of power from the wall. And if you take it apart, you'll see a date code on the diode 1746K or 1748K. If you test it with a multimeter in continuity mode, it'll show that it is shorted. You might be wondering if replacing the diode with a new one, it permanently fixes the problem. Yes, it does. Because it just seems to be a bad batch of those diodes floating around out there with those specific date codes. Excuse me. worked on some DVD recorders last year. Oh man. I don't think I'll ever lose heart fixing these. Easy for me to say, but maybe if I run into some opportunity that makes me more money than this, then I might find less incentive to keep doing it. But it is still just in its own. It's fun to come across the random one-off issues, come across the random secret ones that we aren't supposed to show people, talk to some interesting people along the way. Get some cool stuff out of it too. People just send you stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, we'll see how long I last. I've only been doing it for a year and a half, but we've had to have fixed at least 1,000 of these by now. Around 7 out of 10 of them for all the same diode. Yeah, TVs are easy. I almost got sucked into a couple of TV repairs off of my Yelp listing, but I decided I didn't even decide not to. The people that kept reaching out to me expected me to travel to them to fix it. And like some of these people live like an hour-ish away plus. And their first question is, how much is it for you to fix this TV? And I quote them how much it would be. And then they're like, okay, I live in blah. When can you come out? And I'm like, oh my god. Are you serious? That wasn't, no. You could make some serious money on just travel fees alone, though. That's probably what I'll do as I gain more broad electronics repair experience and less just specialized HomePod repair experience. Yeah, I do think I'm a little crazy. That's the way that I think it should be. No fix, no fee, man. Like, it's like it's on me to make sure that what you're sending in is something that I can fix. And if not, that I set the right expectation for how fixable I might be able to get it, or how fixable it may be. It's on the customer to do their best to explain what's going on, of course, but if I tell somebody I think I can fix something, get their hopes up. They spend the money to ship it in. And then, oh, I can't fix it for whatever reason. It just seems wrong to charge them for it, even if I spent my time on it. So what? I take it as a bit of a learning experience, because then I can fine-tune my process, and it gives me another thing to potentially look for or advise people as I'm vetting people before I tell them they can send it in for repair. So like once you've got that arrangement with your customer that like I think I can fix it, blah blah blah, here's the chances, here's how much, here's how long, whatever. You get them to ship it in. They spent the money on the shipping to send it to you at the very least. And then you can't fix it. You know, I know life isn't fair, but you're completely within your power to make the world a little better by being like, okay, well, I only put my time into this. If I started putting parts into it, that's the thing. Anything I put into these, I can always get back. If it's not time, it's all the parts I can always get back if it ends up not working. The time I can't get back, but at the end of the day, if anything, it's entertainment value for people watching, and it might be a bit of a learning experience for everybody too. Oh.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Beautiful. Another one saved. Let's crank it out. Let's grab Peter's. Peter sent 2 HomePods in, and I believe both of them have no power. Yep, both of them have no power. Let's get this opened up and take a look. Okay. Don't we all have trouble connecting to the internet? I don't. I spend a boatload of money on overhauling my home network and I've had 0 problems. It's amazing. Absolutely worth it. Alright, so it looks like we've got another dead diode causing this HomePod to not power on based on the power draw. Let's find out. This one and one more, then we'll be all done. Mr. Carlson's lab video about his worst shock. I have not. If you could email me a link to it, I would love to watch that. If it's not too big of an ask. How often do you have to reset your router? I don't. I think the current uptime is like 41 days right now, and that's only because the last time was a power outage that lasted longer than my backup batteries. Yeah, I've heard that some people under like get like a big blast of electric shock, get like blown back by it. You've got the unfortunate people that are like grabbing onto whatever that is that electrocutes them, and it causes them to, grab onto it and not let go. And that's usually what ends up killing people, is they don't let go because they can't. If I had to reset my router every few days, I would have that set on something automatic, because I would not be doing that manually. Forget about it. I'd be replacing my router if I had to reset it every few days. Oh, why would they do this? That one was really stuck in there. Yeah, that's terrifying. And it's just incredibly painful. Just a really crappy way to go. Oh, I believe it was most people that get struck by lightning or are near like an object that gets struck by lightning, they generally get blown back by it, if I'm not mistaken. Our friend, the Schottky diode with a date code of 1748K, is back again. The balls to trust he knew what he was talking about, to say the least. Uh-oh. Time to get that baby. Down you go. Yeah. You want some crackers? Here you go. Let me grab you some toys. All your friends are here. Alright, let me finish these HomePods and we will hang out, little Joe. Where were we? Hi. You can eat your cracker, it's okay. I'm just watching you. We've got power. Do you ever have these shorted diodes weld themselves onto the board? We have never seen that. Apparently, there have been other people that have seen that, but we have yet to. So, I think more likely, probably, when people find these diodes welded to the board, I'm guessing they're probably doing a bad job trying to take it off in the first place, to be frank. Is that a good cracker? Sounds like you're enjoying yourself. Yeah, she's back there eating a cracker. Having a grand old time. I gotta clean. This place is a mess. Really? Is that a good cracker or what? She's not choking. She's just having a good time. You're not choking, right? No, she's breathing. And she's shoving more in her mouth. You better not do that while you're eating. You will choke, though. I do not want to have to be giving you freaking CPR on stream. What is this baby doing? What are you doing? We'll just make this small and move it down here so you guys can watch us. Actually, we can move this over here. Nice. Out of the way. What are you doing? Those are your feet. You got two of them. You got a left foot and a right foot. You like to smack them on against the tile as hard as you can, and then giggle about it. You want one of those? Here you go. fixed.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble.
Beautiful. 1 for 2 for Ken, or sorry, Peter. Here is the second one. Little Chow, you think you can hang on for one more? I'll give you another cracker.
Here is your reward, your eternal reward.
Alright, the typical symptoms for another dead diode. Let's cruise through this one and give that baby some love. And a bath. Stinky. Ooh, got some broken pegs on there. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Oh, he's probably not sitting in a corner crying because they're not being held accountable for it. In fact, they're probably being praised for it because it kills off HomePods and makes people buy new ones. What was that? I wouldn't go as far as to say it was a designed or intentional failure per se, at least this particular issue. The problem still remains that it was a problem that Apple manufactured and sold to its customers. And they're the ones stuck with it. What's up? Yeah, you got your friends there. Yeah, breathe it out. Can I get you something? What do you want? Let me find you something. Something tasty. Alright, we've got your favorite blueberries. Yum, yum, yum. In my tummy. Frozen fruit is your favorite. Can you imagine how much farther Apple could go if they just put 2 minutes of effort into repairability for their products? Like, hell, even if they didn't change anything about their products and they just supported their customers repairing their own stuff, you would gain so many more customers just by that alone. I'm not talking about trying to make a bunch of money selling parts for stuff, but the fact is, you know, you'd win people like Reese in the chat here back more likely than not if you let your customers fix their stuff at the least. But instead, a software update can take your $350 speaker down, and if it's out of warranty, you are SOL. 1748K again. Turn on the fumigator. We don't want to give the baby cancer. Yeah, we're not giving you cancer, don't we? What's going on? Did you drop your thing? We got about 10 more minutes, Chell, and then you're all mine. We're gonna go take a nice cool bath. Chill out. And perfect. Let's give this a sec to boot up. We'll check it for sound and offset. Do not run into my car turning around. Thank you. Have a good day. Beautiful. All right, home stretch. Here we go. You got this, Chell. That's the wrong end of the stick. There's no fruit there. Big yawn. Kick that foot up. That's your left foot. That's your right foot. Those are both of your feet. You better not be pooping. I mean, if you are, that's okay. You do you. But you're supposed to wait till Mom gets home so I can make her change it. What's going on? Oh, I am almost done. How could you do this? All right. Folks, we've got everything fixed up. We're all caught up. If you're looking for more info doing your own HomePod repairs or reaching out to me to see what can be fixed for you, check out the website, nixfix.com. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair.
I'm having trouble connecting.
Perfect. I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.